Why should you build Cecilia for average offense? This is a question I am going to answer in this video, and I will try to cover everything I can. If you have seen my other videos, you know already I use Cecilia very often in average offense, especially in Astra season. And to tell the truth, the more I use her, and the more I believe she is truly awesome. Tome of Order, which is not any Raven tome, it has built-in triangular depth, and that is awesome because it means you can use a very offensive A slot such as attack speed push for maximum power. Flyer effectiveness is just the cherry on top. The other aspect, very important to remember, is the fact she is a ranged cavalry. Let's talk about this first. Why it is very interesting to consider a ranged cavalry for your offense team. If you use a tanking strategy, an alternative to the tanking strategy would be hit and run tanking strategy, which involves destroying some threatening units known to your main carry. Here, for example, Seliph. So ideally you want to remove healers and Blue Dragon Seros before you end turn with Seliph. Why it is practical to have a ranged cavalry? For example, against someone like Legendary Leaf, I don't have to waste Naga's important action such as Smite to have Cecilia get the kill on Legendary Leaf. I can just move straight forward like this. So instead now I can use Smite on Seliph, who use reposition, dance, reposition, and another reposition. You get the idea. It helps for a clean hit and run and making sure you get Cecilia out of danger easier by not wasting an important action for her to get the kill that she needs. The important aspect of being a cavalry also is that in average defense, a very popular pick in the defense structure is actually Infantry Skull. Infantry Skull is not affecting a Cecilia, which means she can initiate from just about anywhere. So this allows for more flexible approaches, which is pretty nice. Now let's talk about Raven Tome. Why it is important to consider a Raven Tome? Like I said, if you use hit and run tanking strat, you want to make sure you can remove several threats known to your main carry. Here, for example, I have Seliph with Divine Tearfing. Divine Tearfing is not working against healers, and you don't want to see Sarah making a follow-up and getting danced and attacking against Seliph. And similarly, you don't want to see Seros getting one single hit on Seliph. That is a bad thing. So Cecilia is actually supportive to Seliph because before I would end turn with Seliph, I would have effectively removed someone like Sarah or Seros. Seros is actually a bonus unit. So if you want, you can remove Attack Smoke and use Death Blow, Attack Death Solo to get your easy one-shot. In general, a Raven Tome is very useful because it allows for more flexible approaches and getting better matchups against a wider variety of defense archetypes. Very often you see people using healers. It's very popular in average defense. And they also use colorless bow. It could be Leaf, it could be Rolf, it could be Brave Lean. They often use at least one bow. The fact that she's also green is helping Selif a lot. Like I said, Selif's main weakness is blue and healers. So if you can remove Seros and Sarah before you end turn with Selif, you're actually helping Selif to survive and having a much better matchup against the remaining foes.
Your orders.
The fact I am using Speed Smoke and Attack Smoke is also helping my Selif because he will avoid follow-up. Thanks to Speed Smoke working against Frazir. I don't want Frazir to make a follow-up against Selif. I am saying this because you probably know about the popular saying, best defense is offense. If you kill the main threats known to your main carry, you're actively supporting your main carry. That is important to note because a very popular team composition in offense is actually using 3 mythics, 1 carry, 2 support unit, or people use 4 mythics, 1 carry, 1 support. The problem with this team composition is that it is weak against several defense archetypes such as Healing Trap, including Return, Rescue, Restore, because turn 1 they have almost like a guaranteed initiation. So they move pretty fast and you're getting overwhelmed pretty quickly. Same thing with a curve line. The problem is that if you use 2 carry, 2 support unit with your carry, you cannot fight back. The popular picks for support units tend to be Brave Lucina, Flame, sometimes Corinne, sometimes Kaden or Bridal Micaiah. But most of them cannot fight. And that is a big problem, especially against Return Trap or Curve Line. With someone like Flame, you cannot do this.
Your orders.
You cannot do that. As you can see. The problem is that if you use Flame and Lucina along with Selif as main carry, you're actually relying too much on Selif to take on everyone because the others cannot fight back. And problem is that against Return Trap with Double Dancer or Curve Line, it will become very difficult to hide Naga,
What is your desire?
Plumeria, Regin, and they will get sniped and they will die. If turn 1 you can use someone like Cecilia to get 1 or 2 kills, Selif get 1 kill, Cecilia get 1 kill, they tank. Now next turn you can easily hide Naga and Plumeria and Regin because there are less enemies on the field. Another aspect which is very important to consider is that if you use the classical offense team using 1 carry, 2 support, 3 mythics, you probably need a summoner support on your main carry. But if you cannot have multiple summoner support, the problem is that if you use Selif as main carry and no one else can fight back, you're having a problem because if you use Selif and you have a summoner support on Selif, your other team slot with Brunia, for example, cannot have this summoner support. But if you use, for example, someone like Cecilia, or instead of George, you have a second dancer, you can have Cecilia get 2 kills,
Over here?
Regin get 1 kill with the wonderful Cedar Shell, and she gets a Canto off after the action. You can then smite Selif, and Selif take on the rest, the remaining foes. Which means, for example, let's say you have removed Brave Actor, you have removed Sarah, you have removed Seros, and on the field remains only Yun, Triandra, or Frazir with speed debuff, and Brave Adorgard. Do you think you need Seliph with summoner support against Triandra and Brave Adorgard? The answer is no. You don't need that.
Yes?
Having someone like Cecilia with two color advantage is really awesome. It helps against many more many more maps which use blue or colorless. And she's a ranged cavalry, which is good for the movement, especially against a cavalry. If you consider a cavalry, for example, what the cavalry has is the advantage of a movement. If you don't have a movement against a cavalry, if you have such a restriction, you probably will have a problem against a good cavalry. So this is why Cecilia is pretty good against cavalry and return trap, which cause the unit to move forward pretty fast. So this is something very interesting to consider. So as for the build, really, I will recommend a slot which works on both phases. The attack speed push is pretty good because I can use the push to tank against a cavalry or return trap. The B slot is flexible. I used before LOL speed res, but I am using right now Lance Breaker just in case I see Brave Actor, maybe with far save. This would be awesome. As you can see, she kills pretty easily Brave Actor. The speed smoke, attack smoke, which again is supportive. If you think about Flame giving damage reduction to Seliph, you can achieve kind of the same outcome by using double smoke. Attack smoke reduces the damage, and speed smoke reduces the likelihood that Seliph will get doubled. So the outcome is pretty much the same. You're helping Seliph taking much less damage, avoiding follow-up and taking less damage per hit. So why do you really need Flame in this situation? And last thing, the special. I use Miracle because the Tome of Order with attack speed push and buff is enough to get the one shot. I don't need Glimmer or Moonbow, but because sometimes I have to get Cecilia involved in multiple combats, I feel that Miracle is actually good. Because after the second combat, the Miracle is active. So which means she has few HP left. And if someone will hit super hard on Cecilia, could be even a red, well, at least she survives. If she's not doubled, she survives, and that is pretty good. I think this is a good build on her. Speed push, Miracle, Tome of Order. The B, the Seal Sword, and the C slot is, like I said, flexible.